views and speak my view. So with that in mind, I hope you guys enjoy the next video. And like I said, I welcome all criticism, feedback, and opinions. So like I said, I apologize for the last video if anyone took offense. Try my best not to make it happen again. I hope you enjoy this next video that I'm about to put out for you guys. What's going on? What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Vibrant Truth. I am your host. Well, I'm your host. Well, I'm just gonna go by Vibrant on this channel. So I'm your host, Vibrant. This episode tonight is dedicated to a friend. Had a conversation with him through text, and was just talking, and this idea came up. So this one's for you, bro. Now, I'm gonna title this episode Perception. I'm not really sure that's what this entails, but that's what I'm gonna title it, Perception. So let's jump right into it. So the world is full of perception, as many people know. So if someone doesn't know you, or you don't know someone, you build your own perception of them at first glance, or at first interaction, or first couple of times conversing, or just being in each other's presence. Now, I feel like perception has taken on its own, how can I say this, its own facade, if you will, because people perceive people as thugs or snooty or snobby just from looking at them. And yeah, people can have certain characteristics that resonates with those personalities, but perception is a double-edged sword. It can make an ass out of you, or it can steer you away from situations you don't want to be a part of. Now, what I don't get is nowadays people are saying, hey, that guy is too young. Let's just see what he's about, because he has a nice house, or he has nice cars, or he speaks beyond his years of wisdom. Some people actually take the time to research things, learn things, go back in history and learn the correct things. People work hard nowadays. Younger people work harder and harder because society is getting rougher and rougher. So with that being said, I don't really get how, give me 1 second, guys, sorry. I don't really get how people can say, hey, this guy's only 30. This guy's only 32. How did he get this house? How did he get these cars? Why does he think like this? How can he think like this? He's up to something. He's up to no good. The way he think is too real. He scares us. Let's get him away. The fact of the matter is, people, a lot of people, not just young people, older people, how can I say this? People that feel that certain aged people should stay in their own place, if you will, if I'm explaining that right. Not sure if I'm explaining that right. But okay, for instance, let's say me, for instance, I meet um I meet an older person, okay? And we're having a conversation and the person's like, "Yeah, back in my day, blah 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 and yada yada yada." And I say, "Oh yeah, I've heard stories about things like that." Or um yeah, I remember like that when something like that was happening or whatever. It was just fading out really good in my era. What you know about that, young buck? You don't know nothing about that. Maybe you read about it, but you don't know nothing about it. So, I mean, that statement right there, it's like, okay, why would you feel I don't know anything about it just because of my age? Like, there's things called books, the internet. We all have elderly people in our family. So, you hear stories and everything. You read books, there's documentaries, there's the internet, like I said before. But here's my thing, I've always felt like this as a kid, and I'm going to feel like this now. Why is it that older people feel like respect automatically has to be given to them because they're older? I was always taught respect is a two-way street. That's how I was taught growing up. To get respect, you got to give respect. That's always been a lesson that I've been taught from my mother, from my grandmother, from any elders in my family. But nowadays it seems like the elders command respect. Why is that? And I'm not saying that elderly people shouldn't garner respect, but to command respect, it's kind of a little far fetched, don't you think? Like that'll be like that'll be like me commanding respect from a person that's younger than me because they're younger than me. I don't know them from a can of paint, but they're supposed to respect me even if I disrespect them. I don't I don't get that concept. I never have, I never will. Even as a child, I've never gotten it. I've known people that was older that said, "You're a child, stay in a child's place." What does stay in a child's place mean? That statement has always been something that I've wondered. What is a child's place? In my mind, a child's place is to enjoy life while they can. Have no worries, have no stress, have no one talking about them, not feeling depressed, not worrying about who likes them and who doesn't. That's my idea of a child's place. A worry free life from newborn to the age of maybe 13, I say. 13 is when shit starts getting rough. But that's my perception of it. Like I said, this episode is called Perception, so I'm pretty sure it's different ages for everyone. For me, it was 13. 13, shit got rough. I'm not even gonna lie, but that's a whole nother different story and topic and episode. As a matter of fact, I think that's gonna be an episode soon. I mean, well, I have a show called The Vibrant Truth. If you can't talk about your past and your family and your issues, why not? I'm an open book. My issues, my family's issues, my insecurities when it comes to my family. But anyway, excuse me. The thing about perception nowadays is a lot of the younger people. When I say younger people, I'm talking about the people in their early to mid 30s and late 20s. They get the stigma of they think they know it all, or they think they can work the system a different way than we did back in our day. And I say we, talking about the older people. I think that's true to a point, but at the same time, That doesn't give anyone the right to treat younger people differently because they feel like what they have wasn't earned, because they feel what they have is not legit, because they feel what they have was just handed to them. That's their business, not yours. And the fact of the matter is people can't take people having individuality nowadays. People can't take people having their own brains, their own thoughts, their own opinions. So if you're in a group of left-wing people, let's say, and you don't think like them, you're automatically bad, you're feared, or you're the devil. If you're with a group of right-wing people and you don't think like them, you're bad, you're the devil, you're evil. Everyone needs to accept the fact that everyone has a difference of opinion, a different perception of things, a different idea of things, a different opinion of things. Now, like I said before, I'm not perfect, far from perfect. I see things and I have perception of things, and sometimes I'm wrong. But it's human nature to perceive things that you see how you see them. Something could be totally innocent and no harm, no foul. But if it's viewed by the person as being sketchy, you're going to automatically perceive it as sketchy. Is it right? No, it's not right. Not by any means necessary. But at the same time, you do the same thing if the roles were reversed. If you see that person in a situation and you're like, wait a minute, that seems sketchy, your perception of the situation is going to be that sketchy. Is perception a good thing? Not necessarily. Is it a bad thing? To its fault. But at the same time, it's human nature. You can't live life without perceiving something that's not. So, perception and intuition and all that stuff, and follow your gut, all that kind of rolls into one category because you're making a decision without having all the facts, without speaking to the person, without having all your ducks in a row, if you will. So with that being said, you're gonna sit here and perceive the situation how you perceive it until you get the facts, or you speak to the person, or you know for a fact what's going on. My only thing about it is simply this: if you perceive a situation, then perceive it in private, to yourself, to your close family members, to a friend that you trust is not going to run and start issues. There's no problem with having perception. The problem lies when you let your perception turn into curiosity and you act on your curiosity. That's where I feel the problem is. It's not the fact that your perception of something is bad. It's the fact that you let your perception become curiosity, and your curiosity you decided to act on. So when you decided to act on your curiosity, then that's where the problem comes into play at. So I feel like if you perceive a situation, meaning if you stumble upon a situation and you don't know the people involved and it looks sketchy to you, let it look sketchy. It's not your place or anyone else's place to approach a person and say, hey, how did you get this? Where did you get this from? How long have you had this? This looks sketchy. I just feel like if everyone mind their business a lot more, the world would be a better place. Mind your business and smoke weed. Smoking weed can save the world. But anyway, let's switch gears a little bit from perception. You know how I am. A motherfucker never stay on topic, but that's just who I am. Try to cover a lot of things at one time. You know, you never know what's going on. So, Yeah, let's move on from perception for a bit. And let's move on to, I don't know how to describe what I'm about to move on to. So I'm going to just pick up a word and hope it sticks and hope it relates to what I'm about to talk about. Let's talk about rumors. Yeah, we're going to call it rumors. Let's say rumors. Rumors is a less triggered word, and it's more generalized. Okay, so rumors. So you move to a new state. You're acclimated in this state, or you're acclimating. Okay, the way you move, think, talk, act is totally different from the state you move to, which is relevant because you're not from that state. You don't have that state's culture. You don't have the community's culture, okay? What gets me is the locals then look at you like you have three heads because your idea of fun is not sitting on the front porch drinking beer and smoking cigarettes. So now you're the wrong one because you don't want to partake in their culture and their favorite pastimes. So then you stay to yourself and rumors start. Oh, where'd he come from? They say he came from New York. You think he's up to something? You think he's trying to bring violence into our community? Look at that big house he has. Look at those nice cars he has. He's only in his 30s. How could he get something like that? Listen, I've been in one or two situations where I moved to another state and I've seen people act weird when they see me or act weird when they talk to me. Hell, I thought it was just because I was me. I'm used to that. But then after a while, I started figuring it's because I don't share their views on things. I'm not part of their culture of pastime. I don't want to go to the places that they say is fun. I don't want to do the things they say is fun to do out here. So then the rumors start. Oh, he's antisocial. He's an asshole. He's this. He's that. Okay. I could come off as a little asshole-ish. I'll admit it. I do sometimes think before I speak. Nope. I almost always think before I speak. I can admit that as well. But at the same time, just because someone doesn't want to participate in what some people feel as this state's culture's pastime or this community's pastime, and you have to think like this and carry yourself like this because you live in this community, that's totally wrong. And that's why we have problems getting along with each other now, because we can't accept our individuality and our uniqueness. I'm 35, about to be 36 in the beginning of next year. If I moved somewhere and the median house cost was normally out of my range, but I did particularly well in this situation and I was able to snag the house, does that give Lauren or Amanda or John or Carl or Mike, whoever may be living next door to me, around the corner from me, across the street from me, down the block from me, the right to come and say, look at that guy. He looks pretty young. And he's living in a house like that. I wonder where he get the money from. He must be one of them drug dealers. Why? As long as there's no traffic coming in and out of my house, actually scratch that. There could be traffic coming in and out of my house because it's my house. As long as I'm not bothering anyone or anyone that comes to see me is bothering anyone, it shouldn't be anyone's business how I got a house that like that. How I got a car like that. Why I'm dressing the way I'm dressing. Why do I think the way I think? Why do I talk the way I talk? It's none of your business. If you want to have a conversation and get to know me, that's fine. I would welcome that. I appreciate that. But for you to have meetings about how I procure my items, and you wonder if he has a job, and you wonder if I got this legally or if it was handed down to me, that should be none of your concern. What seems to be going on here is simply the fact of the matter is, as years go on, the younger people and the middle-aged people is getting pushed further and further down in the social demographic. There was a time where they wanted the young people to succeed. They wanted the younger people to thrive, so that way they can push the older people out, put them in retirement homes, put them in assisted living homes, knock down the old architecture of communities and blocks, and put up more modern buildings to attract the younger crowd, the middle-aged crowd, the Tesla drivers, the people that believe in just doing whatever it takes to get ahead without putting in the work. That's what society was gearing towards to at one point in time, bringing those people in. Which is part of the reason why Starbucks became so popular. If anyone that watched this is from New York, you would remember Starbucks was only where? Manhattan. Only in Manhattan you seen Starbucks. And then as the years went on, you started seeing Starbucks leave Manhattan and get into Queens, get into Brooklyn, get into the Bronx. And then from there it started going into the rest of New York, upstate New York, Long Island, Suffolk County, Nassau County. And that's because Starbucks, for some reason, means some level of prestige. I don't know what level Starbucks is on, but for some reason, Starbucks equals prestige in some way, shape, or form. So you put a Starbucks on the corner, property value automatically goes up, I guess. But I said that to say this. If you associate something with something, then eventually that's all you're going to know. Now, what I don't understand and what I don't agree with is people try to stay to themselves and then people draw their own conclusions about them. If you have an issue with how someone's living in your community or on your block, why not just knock on their door? Or if you don't want confrontation, write them a note, put it in their mailbox. Say, hey, this is from Jane from 54 Crescent or whatever. I don't want any complications, but this is just how I feel. Please feel free to respond. It's not that hard. Or if you're a person that don't care about confrontation, knock on the person's door. Don't talk to your neighbor and say, hey, see that new guy across the street? You should see some of the stuff he was bringing in his house. He doesn't look that old. So I wonder how he got all that stuff. Some expensive stuff, too. Maybe it was inherited. Maybe that person you're talking about has been working since they was 14 years old and saved their money. Maybe that person is a young business owner that just happens to be doing so well that they're able to buy stuff like that for themselves, just to show themselves appreciation for all the hard work they put in. It's very easy to assume something about someone, but it's very hard to confront someone about something. And I'm saying that because I live it most of the time. You cannot confront someone about something without it almost leading into an altercation, whether it be verbal or physical. Confrontation is imminent in this day and age because people don't know how to converse about things. It's alright to scream and yell, but then once you get past that, then people want to start fighting or go grab knives or guns or do crazy shit like that. Excuse me. It's been a long day. But my problem with that is simply this: you can control the narrative when you confront somebody, even if that person is hot tempered. You can indeed control the narrative. You don't have to stoop down to their level and yell back and scream obscenities, however you say it. It's a little late, guys. I'm sorry. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that situation. Now, there's a third part to this, and this is the last part, so this might not be a long video. I don't really have much to say about this part, so I'm just gonna get into this part, and then we're gonna end it when we end it. It's gonna be 2 more videos coming behind us shortly from my Twitter poll. Pop Bullets 1986 is my Twitter. So if you ever want to get in on these votes, just go to Twitter. I don't think you have to be a follower of mine to see my polls, but if you do, just hit that follow button and vote for what you want to see on the show next. I'll soon be having special guests to talk about these issues. I don't know when, trying to work out the details, trying to work out the schematics and everything, but yeah, I will be having people on the show. Yeah, there's 1 or 2 people that like me, so yeah, I'll have a few people on the show eventually. But getting back to the last topic that I'm going to talk about. The last topic I'm going to talk about, and I'm trying to word this carefully because I do not want anyone to feel like I'm singling them out or talking about them, because I'm not. This is just a general video. Like all my videos will be in general. Some examples I use will be based off my life experiences, mine and only mine. So I apologize if it seems familiar to some people, but that's not the intent. Okay, so here we go. Last part to this. When people assume about other people and it continues, that's a way to bring on depression. And I'm saying this only because, like I said, I had a conversation with a friend and we touched on this. Being depressed doesn't have to be because you feel alone or because you're being bullied or anything of the such. Anything can send someone into a depression. And constantly having rumors spread about you in your own community and your own neighborhood is enough to make people depressed. But I will tell you guys what I told my friend. People's gonna talk. Stay your course. Do what you have to do, and I have to take my own advice. I'm not gonna sit here and say I can always take the high road and I can always ignore people's comments or actions, because I can't. But I'm learning to. So, with that said, I'm saying I told him stay your course. Let them say what they want to say. As long as you're taking care of you and yours, and you're happy, and the people you're taking care of is happy, who the fuck cares what they have to say? People are gonna talk regardless. I learned that the hard way. People are gonna talk fucking regardless. So let them talk. Like I said, I'm guilty of not taking my own advice. So this is me giving him the advice that I'm gonna take from this video on. As long as I'm taking care of me and mine, and I'm doing what I feel is right to progress myself in life, fuck it. I don't even care. There's gonna be a lot of people that don't like me. There's gonna be a few people that do like me. At this point, I'm just gonna say fuck it. Who cares? If you like me, great. If you don't, oh well. I need to learn how to like myself for everybody. Instead of trying to get people to like me or wondering why people don't like me, I'm just gonna like myself. What I do wish though is that things were like it was back in the early 90s, mid 90s. When someone had a problem with you, we spoke it out. It don't matter how we spoke it out. Through AOL Messenger. Who remembers AOL Messenger? I bet you not many people remember AOL Messenger. Fucking AOL for that matter. The pop-up IM boxes. Who remember that shit? Bet you no one remembers that shit. Juno. Fucking Hotmail. People still use Hotmail. God damn, people still use Hotmail. What else was it? MSN Messenger. Not many people use that. MSN Messenger. But yeah, I say that to say this. Back then, people communicated, whether it was through internet, text, voicemails, phone calls, people communicated. And even though I don't like talking to people, I kind of miss that, because I personally feel, this is just me personally, from where I was living back then, I feel like violence wasn't that high back then. Other crimes were robbery, murders, shit like that. When I say murders, I mean like gang murders and, murders from people robbing stores and all that shit. But, people wasn't going outside and getting stabbed because they had an argument 2 days later or they heard someone didn't like them. People wasn't going outside and getting shot because they had an argument back then. That's what I'm talking about. Like, and it's hard, which is why I understand why people get depressed. It's hard to try to rectify situations nowadays because people get in their feelings and then their feelings become bitter, and it's hard to erase bitter. So I get it. But people make mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes. I've made a ton of mistakes recently. I'm probably going to make many more mistakes. The only thing I can do is try to move on from my mistakes and rectify them, learn from them, and move on. There's really not much more you could do nowadays. Just want to set the record straight. I've never been classified as a good person. I mean, tell you the truth, I'm not a good person. I mean, I'm an okay person. But before, I was a terrible person. Back in the day, I was a terrible person. I could admit it. I was a bad person. Everyone changes. The way they think, the way they act, the way they talk, how they carry themselves. At a certain point in time, at a certain age, people change. All you can do is just give them the opportunity to show you and the world that they've changed. Without opportunity and chance, nothing's gonna change. But with that being said, I'm going to end that here. I hope this video helps people understand how perception and rumors and jealousy can ruin someone else's life without you even knowing you're ruining it, or can make someone depressed and second guess their existence or themselves. We as people got to do better. I said that in my last video at the end, and I'm going to say it again in this video. We as people got to do better. Let's stop being jealous on what the next person have, or stop wondering how that next person got it. Let's just say congratulations. Hopefully I can get where they're at one day. Or just simply congratulations. It's not that hard, people. Like I said, and the other video before this video that you're going to see before this video plays, I do apologize for any mistakes I made in my first video. I tried not to duplicate those mistakes in this video. But again, like I said, the only thing I could do is apologize. And whatever happens, happens. This is the vibrant truth. So, with that being said, I'm going to end this motherfucking video right here. And let you guys know that the next 2 videos that's coming looks like it's going to be, the topic of discussion is going to be accountability, which these are all topics that Twitter picked. So please, please, please do not think that I'm trying to copy anyone's videos or that I'm taking shots at anybody. These are just topics that my Twitter picks. So if you want certain topics, please, I urge you, go to my Twitter, popbullets1986, and vote on the topics I put up. The next video looks like it's going to be mental health. The video after that looks like it's going to be accountability. So those are the 2 topics that's going to be coming out next. And hopefully whoever subscribes have their notifications turned on, and you will get a notification when it's posted. Until next time, this has been The Vibrant Truth. I'm your host, Vibrant, and I'm out. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for tuning in.